Hello and welcome back to my channel, and today we are going to be using Fun Foam, our Xyron machine, and this cute Easter die. This is like a background silhouette die, and it came with this piece, and it also came with the Happy Easter cutout. So there's different techniques that you can do to use like your background silhouette dies, and I'm going to try to show you a couple different ways that you can use them today, but this is like a super fun way that you can use and get the most out of your dies. First, you're going to start off with your piece of Fun Foam, and you're going to cut it down to where it's going to mat onto your card base. So cut it down just a little bit smaller than your card base, just so you can see that little bit of white around it. You want to take your Fun Foam sheet once you have it cut to the size that you need, and you're going to take your die cut with the cut side down, and you're going to position it to wherever you want it on your piece of foam sheet. Now once you have this all lined up, run it through your die cutting machine. So a die like this gives us loads of opportunities and versatility to do different things with our cards, but this is what I like to call a twofer, because if we peel this up and we pull away the rabbit and the little butterfly, we've got two separate things here that we can use. And since we already cut this for the mat size that we're going to need, we literally can make two separate cards out of these. Now I'm going to run both of these through my Xyron machine because I need a sticky backing on the back of these, but then we're going to do another fun technique on top. So I'm going to slowly push these into my 9-inch Xyron machine, and it's so cool because with the wide mouth on this thing, I can push both of these through at the same time and put adhesive on the back. And now that I've got them both ran through my Xyron machine, I'm just going to cut these apart. And I didn't bother running the butterfly through because I can just glue this on wherever I want it to be. But I'm just going to cut these apart, and then I'm going to run it back through my die cut machine with the embossing mat, as you've seen in my other methods on my channel, and we're going to get all that sticky goopy stuff, the webby stuff, off of these die cuts. And now that I've got both of my pieces ran back through my die cutting machine to get the webby stuff off, I'm going to peel away the plastic cellophane. What is so fun about this, when I ran this through, it gave it like a really fun texture, like a crinkly texture. It looks very dimensional. Like, you know how almost like the lines on a carrot are? That's kind of what it reminds me of. And it looks like such a really fun dimensional effect that I am just absolutely loving. And I don't know, it was just because it was smashed too hard, and it was the way like the plastic had crinkled into it. It just made these lines, and I'm just really loving that fun technique right there, that the crinkles. So depending upon how your plastic crinkles on top when you run this through the machine, it might give you a different effect than what it's giving me. But I love that extra texture that I'm getting on that foam. It's so super cute. So I'm just going to go ahead and leave both of these in view instead of working on one versus the other. But I have this stamp set by Stampers Anonymous, and it's from the THoltz collection. And this one is the one that I am going to be using. I placed that stamp onto my little stamping platform. I don't know what I did with my other blocks, but hopefully I find them, because I'm so used to using my stamping platforms. I don't use these very often anymore. But this is a distress embossing dauber, and this is a really good stuff, and this is going to work the best. You could try using the Versamark stuff with this technique, but I'm telling you right now, this is going to give you the best result, because I tried both and I love this the most. Just ink up your whole stamp with this embossing dauber, and it's going to be really sticky like, but just go ahead and get that whole thing Just ink it up just like that, and it's going to stay tacky. We're going to take our little, the things, the little embossing baggie. I'm going to just keep it in there so I don't get the, oh, I already got powder all over my fingers. But just gently go over your design, just over that foam, and do that on both. But I'm just going to do it on where I want to put the design. So I'm going to go ahead and do this one too. And this doesn't have to be perfect, because imperfections in your cards can be some of the most beautiful things. So I'm just going to lay this down and just stamp it. You can kind of see all the sticky on there. I might just take this little edge here. I'm going to do the best that I can to line that up and just get a little bit of a stamped impression right there. I'm just gonna go ahead and ink this one too. And you can see how wet and sticky that is. And that is what we want. So I'm just gonna do up around the frame here on this one. This is just gonna be so pretty. So I wanna make sure, try not to get the bunny's hand there, but just get the impression on this outer border. And then we're going to do a little bit more ink, and then we're going to do the other side. So if you want to do some really fast Easter cards, or this will work for any type of other themed card, it's just a really fun technique that you can do. You could even get a different stamp and stamp in here if you want to, but I think just to offset, just to keep it simple and fast, I'm not even going to do the rabbit. I'm going to slide these onto the sheet of white paper. This is Distress Embossing Glaze, and I don't even know if you're going to be able to see that just because it's really dark. But it's Distress Embossing Glaze, and it's in the color Villainous Potion. So it's a really dark purple shade. We're just going to sprinkle it on. Sprinkle, sprinkle, sprinkle. And we're going to go over here, and I'm just going to do in little sections, because I think I want to take, and just for fun, on this one over here that I'm sprinkling onto right now, I want to add some different color to this one. So for this one, I'm just going to keep it purple. So I'm just going to tap around here. That way if I need to add more, I can, but just start tapping it and spreading this stuff around. I'll bring this back over here, because if I think I need more, I can just add it like that. But you can just see how it's sticking to it. It's so fun looking. And just tap off the excess. And then you can just go in and clean it up with a little brush, just like a little paint brush or whatever. Just clean it up just a little bit. For this one, I'm gonna add a little bit of picked raspberry. And this is another Distress Embossing Glaze. So we're gonna add a little bit of it to our fun foam. A really pretty pink. So I'm just gonna sprinkle, sprinkle, sprinkle. Because it should have enough stick to it that this can be placed on there, and it should give me a little bit of extra color. I'm just using my fingernail as a spoon. Okay, and then we're just gonna tap that around. And don't worry if you cannot get it all off, or if some comes off where you would like to have some, just like press it back down into the, because you might end up taking off more than you like. but just be gentle as you can so you don't knock off any of the excess powder. When you do bring in your heat gun to actually heat set this, you do want to be careful because one, you can melt the foam, but if you get it too hot, it's gonna like curl up on you and everything, and then you're gonna be trying to stretch it back into place. So just be very careful. So you're gonna wanna keep the heat tool a little farther away from it because this is gonna get hot because it has to melt it. So you don't wanna get too close and melt your foam. So just be very careful. This is not like paper because it will want to try to curl up on you. Show you. You might be able to see this better once I get the whole card done, but just see that melty goodness right there. This is so pretty because look at that. Look how this looks. This is so fun, but you do have to be extra careful with it. And also, if you start to get like a little bit of curling on your foam, you can see how it melted that. It's so pretty. But if you start to get a little bit of curl, run it on the edge of your, like, pretend this is the edge of your table and just like run it, like pull it down like that so that it's, just so that it pulls that. So just run it along the corner of your table, just the edge of your table, and that'll help to take the curl back out of it as well. Now I've just brought my card base back in and I'm filling just the center in just a little bit with a little bit of the Blaring Blue Electro Pop. Is such a pretty color, and I just want another color just to accent the other colors that's going to be on this card. So I'm just going in with that little bit of ink. Now we're going to just peel this off, and now just line it up on your card and push it down. That Happy Easter die that came with the other die, I cut that out in just a white heavy cardstock and I glued the little butterfly on, and this is our first card. Now this is just a pre-made card base that I have. It's in a like very pale pink, like almost like a lavender color, and I went around that in the Poppin' Pink and the Electro Pop, and it just gives it that pop of color that I'm going to need to finish off this next card. We're just going to line it up and stick it down. So I thought it would be fun to go in with a little more detail, and we're going right back in with that Distress embossing dauber, and we're going to go right back over that same stamp. And then once you finish heat setting that, you're left with that beautiful glaze. So once we add our Happy Easter sentiment and some beautiful pearls, this is what we end up with. And now we have two beautiful cards that were so quick, simple, and easy to make. And just think, with slicing this fun foam and using any of your background silhouette dies, you can use these as stencils. So you can use your oxide sprays and spray these and just use them as stencils, any of your dies that you have, and it makes a really cool effect on cards as well. Really super quick and easy. Just another fun tip I wanted to throw out there. I wanted to kind of include it in this video, but if I did that, it would be a much longer video, and so I wanted to keep this one shorter for you. But look how super adorable. Fun foam Really super quick, easy way to add to your cards. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button and hit that notification bell so you won't miss any of my content. Leave me a comment below. Let me know what you think of these cards. Let me know if you run fun foam through your Xyron, because I enjoy doing it, and I definitely love cutting the fun, I want to call it fun foam because that's what we've always called it, but the foam sheets, I love cutting this stuff through my die cutting machine and then peeling it away. It's like the most satisfying feeling. I just enjoy it. But using it on your cards, just a fun idea. So I hope you enjoyed this, and I'll catch you in the next video.